Hi everyone, welcome back to WHU TV. My name is John, your host as always, and I hope you're all doing well as I always do under these very difficult circumstances. Yep, you can hear me, it's all good. Really paranoid about that, as everybody may or may not have realised over the last few days. As always guys, this video is sponsored by the channel sponsor 3retro.com. Please click the link in the description below that will take you directly through to the West Ham section of their website. As you can see from up here, some very nice animations of... where are we? There we go. Some very nice animations of what's available, along with Admiral and Umbro, claret and blue coloured West Ham colours, even track jackets, polo shirts, sweatshirts and t-shirts. So go check those out. Any purchases you make through the link in the description below, of course. Coming up to Christmas, of course, you'll be able to get yourself a very nice retro shirt, and of course. Any commission that the channel would get from those will be going directly to the charity down the link. I was about to say downstairs then. Down in the link in the description below there is the ticker you can see at the bottom, Iron supporting food banks. So guys, this is quite a short watch along, short weekly chat where we talk about everything. So there's only one person watching at the moment, so it looks like we're not going to have a lot to talk about. It's going to be even shorter than normal. But I hope people, because at the end of the day, guys, this is a weekly thing all the time. But first and foremost, I just wanted to say, obviously acknowledge the fact, Eden, hello mate, hope you're all right. That we acknowledge the fact that on Friday we lost a very big character in the acting world. Somebody that a lot of people have grown up with in various different guises. Barbara Windsor, of course. So it's a shame, and of course on Sunday we lost, the football world lost Gerard Houllier as well. So two big names in their respective fields from in various different guises. But guys, I say just a quick heads up for those two. So my condolences to their families, of course. Now let's have a look, guys, because obviously at 8 o'clock is the West Ham versus Crystal Palace, and as TSC was very impatient and up to ask, yes, we are going to be having the weekly we're going to have the live watch along with, as always. This one itself is not going to overlap. We're going to try and get things as short as possible. So there's only one person watching. I'm hoping that's still Eden. I'm hoping you're still there, mate. So when we get a few more people in, we'll talk about the team sheet. I was going to talk about the team sheet straight away, but there's no real point us talking about it as yet. So when we get more viewers in, if we do, of course, because other channels are going live as we speak, with the build-up shows that they all do, and fair play to them. But I wanted to do this with you guys. And of course, if you're watching the replay, then by all means let me know your thoughts on all this as well, because it'd be nice to have a bit more interaction with everybody. Now, of course, as of 1 minute past midnight this morning, regardless of what everybody says that it was midnight tonight, which is not, it's midnight this morning. London, Essex, and Hertfordshire, amongst other places, went into Tier 3, which means basically everything's closed, quite frankly. The football, obviously, I feel very heartbroken for the guys that went to had got lucky enough to get tickets for tonight's game. Of course, obviously they were probably contacted to say that nobody's going to do it, so nobody can be attending, unfortunately, which is a real shame. But this is the way things go. So basically, the only things we can really go and do is get our haircuts, quite frankly. Pretty much everything else is, apart from supermarkets and shops selling food, pretty much everything else is closed again. So restaurants are only doing on a takeaway basis, but all pubs are closed. We can't attend any football, we can't attend any cinemas, we can't attend any plays, nothing like that. All theatres are closed, so it's a real shame. So there's a couple of more people that have joined in, so by all means please do log in the chat, sort of thing. I do want to say thank you very much. We had at least two subscribers today. That was Rahali Najedi, I think you pronounced that, and Shazil Aziz. So thank you very much to you two for making sure that we were comfortably on the 1720. At the time of the going live, we were 1725, so we're 5 away from 1730. So it'd be quite nice if we can get to that by the end of the night, of course. But yeah, as I say, we are in Tier 3. and in London and Essex and Hertfordshire. And it's Ben. Good evening, mate. Hope you're all right. Hope you get a couple more people to talk in and talk about things. But it's very, very difficult. I mean, there are a lot of people, for example, a lot of towns up north and people in Kent that have already been in tier 3 for a good few weeks now. So we're kind of already used to it. I know when it was announced, Steph, my friend who's up in Stoke, she contacted me saying welcome to tier 3. So it was hard from that difficult side of things. But it looks like the Christmas rules aren't going to be as lax as we all thought they were going to be. From the broadcast that have been going on today, it's very, very hard for people to understand what we're going to have to do. But we're going to have to do it. It's literally for 5 days and up to 5 days to spend our times with our families, and also up to 3 households all at one point. Now, it did make me laugh when he came to talk about that, because I kind of thought to myself, a lot of people, quite frankly, are not happy to spend more than a couple of days with their in-laws over Christmas anyway. So some people will be very, very happy to trottle off after Boxing Day or on Boxing Day for that matter, and go home and just enjoy the rest of the Christmas. I mean, I don't know what you guys are planning to do for Christmas. Let us know both in the replay comments if you're watching this, and of course let us know in the chat as well for those 4 people that are currently watching. Eden says it's annoying restaurants won't get Christmas income. Yeah, well, as what they will to a degree, because there'll be people getting takeaways a lot more now, mate. So that's what we're saying. They will, but yes, I know what you mean. Literally in-house, drinks, money from the drinks, money from extra courses and all that sort of stuff. Because when you're in a lot of restaurants, you sit there and you just go, do you know what? I'm gonna have a bit more food. I'll have something more. Whereas when you're ordering your takeaway, it's not as easy to do that, unfortunately. Now, one of the reasons why from what I'm understanding, the reasons why the Christmas rules are going to be not as lax as we all were expecting and what was originally announced was because it was announced on Monday that there's a slight mutation to the COVID strand, which makes sense. The virus has been around for about 12 months now. It's travelled literally all around the world. Every single country, bar 2 or 3. Have sections of the world, shall we say, have had it. So it's understandable that it's going to mutate. I mean, the flu bug, the cold, which way you want to look at it, talk about it and describe it, that evolves every other year as well. So that mutates. So it's gonna happen, especially with all the coding but in it, because we all know this is definitely man-made. It's not what. It wasn't from bat soup, like everyone was all the stupid people were coming out trying to make ridiculous things up about it. But I'm just hoping for a few more guys to come in, because there's a few football things I want to talk to you guys about. But yeah, as I say, on Monday it was confirmed that there was a mutation of COVID confirmed. So it might have a knock-on effect with the vaccine. Nobody knows yet. I mean, nobody knows how the vaccine's working as it stands already. Quite a few thousand people have already had the vaccine over the last week now, which is fantastic news. We are slowly getting there. But as I said, at the end of the day, it's just as always is. This is wait and see time. So Eden and Ben and the other 4 that are watching, I'm hoping you 2 are still here and hoping TSC's returned. We're going to turn round our attention to now the fixtures for January. So for those that haven't already checked it, because they were announced yesterday, but for those that haven't already noticed, 3 of the 5 fixtures are on BT Sport. So New Year's Day at 5:30, our game away to Everton is on BT Sport. And then the 16th of January, our home game at Burnley. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff on Prime, as tonight's game is. Tuesday, the 19th of January, at 6 o'clock, our home game to West Brom with Fat Sam Allardyce in charge of West Brom. That's also on BT Sport, as is our away derby to Palace on the 27th of January at 7:30 on Wednesday evening. That's also on BT Sport. And Sunday, the 31st of January, our home game against Liverpool is at 4:30 on Sky Sports. So let's have a look. Did anyone make any? No, nobody's made any more comments yet. So that's going to be interesting from that. So, Liverpool and Palace, Burnley, West Brom. Difficult. Yeah, so Everton away, Burnley at home, West Brom at home, Palace away, Liverpool at home. So, yeah, that's a very, very tasty January. A very, very tasty January. And as I said, we'll be doing all the games will be watch-alongs as well, of course. So we'll have all that. So by all means, guys, for those maybe watching the replays, give us your predictions on what you think on those 5 fixtures. Everton away, I can't see us getting more than a point. Burnley at home, I know a lot of people will be saying we should be winning that, but we always struggle against Burnley. Always struggle against them. West Brom at home against Fat Sam. It's going to be negative football from him, so possibly is a win there. And Palace away, maybe a point, and Liverpool at home. Be very, very nice to have a point. Now, obviously, that's me saying we go unbeaten in January. We won't be unbeaten in January, but that's my kind of thinking on it. So maybe 6, 7. Maybe where are we? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, maybe 8, maybe 7 or 8 points out of that. So let me know your thoughts, guys, on that. Of course. Adam says Burnley have done a few surprises this season, and just as well just when they're looking like an easy game. Ben says hopefully we try and win the FA Cup. Nice to see you keeping in context there, Ben, as always. But yeah, of course, I mean that's obviously that's why there's a jump in between the 1st and the 16th, because that's the weekend of the FA Cup. So that'd be very interesting to see what goes on with that. Now, guys, what I wanted to tell you as well, this is a bit off script, but I've got to try and keep this going for at least a reasonable period of time, is the fact, good evening, Robs. He reckons 2-1 tonight. Good for you, mate. Ben says Burnley are always tricky side for us. A lot of people will be thinking 2-1 tonight, mate. But we'll come on to that in a minute. This is obviously we're talking about the January fixtures. But as I said, yeah, I think it'd be interesting. I think it'd be an interesting side game for us. In January, very, very interesting fixtures. Ben, you're absolutely right there, fella. Burnley have Ben and Ed, and you're spot on there, guys. Both teams are very, very difficult for us to play against. Always have been, and to a lesser extent, always will be. But at the same time, everyone's very, very buzzing at the minute. If we're in the same position in 5 weeks' time, if we're floating around the 7th and 8th place that we currently are at the minute, then of course we will have that. I'll be very, very buoyed at the minute. Okay, so guys, let's talk about the team sheet. So Fabianski in goal, Soufal, Diop, Ogbonna, Creswell, Rice, Soucek, Bowen, Benrahma, Fornals, and Allaire. So that's potentially, we're looking at a 4. I think it's probably a 4-4-1-1 again. It's a bit of a shame. I said in the preview. That it'd be a little bit. I'm thinking we should be going for the 4-3-3 again. But just mixing it up a little bit more. It was a 3-4-3. I went for the preview. Sorry, 3-4-3, which I think we should really be doing tonight. I genuinely do, really, really. But it looks like a 4-4-1-1 again, as it was. I mean, understandable that that's gonna be happening. And then for the substitutions are Randolph, Fredericks, Noble, Dawson, Snodgrass, Lanzini, and Yarmolenko. Now, I know a lot of people will getting a bit edgy that Diop hasn't been in the side for the last week or so. Now, apparently it's because Dawson's a lot more vocal than Diop is, and apparently, especially in training, and Moyes wants him in and around the squad as well to get a bit of experience, apparently, which I think is a bit weird. I think it's a bit strange myself. But guys, yeah, of course, give me your predictions. Rob's already gone in with that. But anyone else that's watching, please give me your predictions. Of course, we will be having the live watch along from 10 to as usual. But yeah, it's just one of those things. And of course, talking of defenders, Michelet, good evening. Talking of defenders, it looks like there's a distinct possibility that we could be losing Winston Reid in Winston could be losing Winston Reid in January. And he's had 10 appearances and 1 goal for the MLS side Sporting Kansas. Bonnie, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But yeah, so it would be a shame if we lost Reid in January, because this is his 10th season with us, and it'd be a little bit shame that you couldn't have a testimonial. But at the same time, would be quite a good idea, because he's, especially with his injury problem, the MLS is a very, very good tempo for him, and as a result, guys, it could be very, very, it will be sad to see him go. It really will be sad to see him go. Bonnie, I don't know what coat you're referring to. If you're referring to my claret and blue jacket, that's slightly different. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Well, what's the point of wearing it indoors? So if you're not going to contribute, mate, then I don't really see what you're joining in on the chat, quite frankly. Ben says we'll win 2-1, I think. Yep, I can see that. As I said, a lot of people are getting involved in that fixture, and I totally understand that. Totally get it. I mean, of course, it'd be very, very good to get another 3 points on it as it stands at the minute. And of course, obviously, one of the other reasons why a lot of people may not be watching is because there are games going on at the moment. Arsenal Southampton is 1-1, Leeds Newcastle 1-1, and Leicester are 1-0 up over Leicester. As it stands at the moment, we are 8th in the table, and potentially, because obviously Fulham and Brighton, Liverpool, Tottenham. So that Liverpool Tottenham doesn't really have any influence on our game, and neither does Brighton and Fulham, because their positions won't really change all that much. Yeah. So adios, Bonnie. You're in timeout, mate. I'm afraid, because you got to show some respect. If you, quite frankly, but yeah, as I said, it's, if we get a result, if we get a point tonight, we'll jump back to 7th. If we get all 3 points, we could actually be, as it stands at the moment, we could actually be 6th if we get a point. If we get all 3 points tonight, so could be very, very entertaining on that. Very entertaining. And yeah, so Bonnie, you're timed out, mate, because as I say, it's just a conversation. It's not to try and troll somebody, which is what you're trying to do. So yeah, but as I said, at the end, meantime, guys, it's going to be an interesting game tonight. It really genuinely will be an interesting game tonight. And I am genuinely looking forward to it. It's a shame that nobody can be there, of course, because it'd be nice to have a bit of a London derby atmosphere there, and of course it won't, for obvious reasons. But it's just one of those things. Really, it's just one of those things. See if I can get some. It'd be interesting. But as I said, it will be a shame. But it's just one of those things. I mean, we all love a London derby, and see what else you guys are saying. Eden said it'd be be sad to see Winston go, as we didn't see him play for ages due to his injury. Agreed. Michele says 1-0 West Ham, LA at the score. Could well happen. And of course, the last thing we want to talk about is that Antonio has come out to say that Antonio is planning to return for the Chelsea fixture. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be in the starting 11. He could well be in the squad. But from what I'm hearing, from what Moyes has said, he didn't really say it, but from what I've heard of Moyes, he does say that he won't be risked if he's not fit enough, by the sounds of things, which is a good thing, because we're halfway there to safety. Moyes said in his pre-match conference that he's planning on the 40 points as safety before he can get Jubilant. And to be honest with you, I feel exactly the same as he does. Exactly the same. J Jazz, hello mate. Haven't seen you for a while. Says 2-1 at the Cockley boys. Thought you all to correct out, son. Ben Davis says, hope Antonio comes back. We really need him. Ben, he will come back at some point. We can't rush him. We rushed him once. Moyes looks like he's looking like he's smart enough not to do it again. So So that's the good thing. I'm glad he's learnt his lesson from that side of things. I really am glad he's learnt his lesson. Um, but let's so of course we've got a very very difficult game tonight as well, which we'll talk about in about half an hour or so. That's when the watch along will be live. But we've got Eze and Benteke and Zaha as their attacking front as well. So Guata or Guaita, I think you pronounce it. Ward, Kawati, Dan, Van Arnold, Townsend, Milojevic, and MacArthur is in there as well. For Palace, their substitutions are Butland, Tompkins, Jordan Ayew, Schlupp, Batshuayi, Mitchell, and Riederwald. I think you pronounce it. So could be an interesting one from that side of things. But as I said, guys, in the preview, this was going to be a short one because and for obvious reasons, there's not the usual crowd in here. There's not many people talking all that much as well. So we'll go for another few more minutes. If you've got anything you guys want to talk about before we go into we stop the broadcast and then we start doing in a few minutes, in about half hour's time, we'll start focusing on the game itself. Eden says more reason to want Allaire to do well, otherwise they may try to rush Antonio back quicker, which could cause him more injury. Exactly, Eden. 100%, mate. Totally agree with you there, fella. And the reason for it is because I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think Rob, sorry, I missed your comment. It was held for review because you put the swear word in it. Big night. Hope we don't fuck it up. Agreed. You never know. It's a London derby. It's going to be very, very good. But Eden, as you were saying there, mate, yes. I mean, and Allaire's been trying. He really, really has been trying. And pre-match nerves. I get it. Yeah, absolutely understand it. But it's as it comes out, it's just Allaire's been trying. He really, really has been trying. I just think that the system doesn't suit him. It just does not suit him. And I feel sorry for him. I really do, because that's the way that it is. It's just this is the thing. It's just that have the conversation about it can last for a lifetime. But I genuinely do think that Moyes is trying his best to include him in there. It's just the fact that the way that we set up is more for an Andy Carroll style set up, and he doesn't really think it has in there. I mean, he's got the ability, but he's not showing the strength because he's not. I think he's annoyed with himself, quite frankly. I think Allaire's annoyed with himself that he's not scoring. I think that's the real reason. Ben says, "Do you think Moyes will have a new contract if we achieve a top 10 finish?" Well, there's conversations going on in we'll get a new contract. Yeah, that's what I thought you were saying there, Ben. Yeah, there's conversations going on in the background as it stands at the minute. As it probably is with other players that are contracts running out towards the end of the season. So I'm a bit annoyed. To be honest with you, I'm a bit annoyed that this is a lot of people are concentrating on that. But at the same time, Moyes wasn't a manager that I wanted. A lot of us didn't want him, and he's proven me wrong, and I'm happy to say it. More than happy to say it. He's proven myself wrong. He's proven a lot of his detractors wrong. And it's good. It's he deserves it as far as I'm concerned. He genuinely does deserve it. I still maintain for him to actually have the go through the finer details is better in January or February time. Don't think now is the right time to go through the formalities of it. Ben says he's proving him wrong as well. But that's the thing. It is the situation. The club got a little bit burned, shall we say, with having with when they offered the contract to Allardyce and the football started going south. So I can understand to a degree why. I mean, because guys, as well as I do that the club loves to look for an excuse not to do things. We all know that. Like for example, times have gone ahead many times beforehand. We've got loads of examples of where they've offered contracts to players and then they've actually screwed it up. I mean, not just West Ham, just saying in football in general that a lot of people are some people will come in and just chat and go and go. That's all they do. You know, look at Solskjaer, prime example of it. Gave it all the big in his audition, shall we say, his interview matches, got his contract, and they've been pretty. And Man United have been pretty shit since. So, but this time round, it looks like the league is actually telling the real story now. So it's 2-2 up at Ellen Road, but no other results have changed. Rob says, I know we have the tools to beat Palace, but it's all about the fight on the night. Agreed. Let's hope we turn up. It's this. Do you know what? If I'm going to say it now, I would be happy with a point tonight. I genuinely would be happy with a point tonight. Obviously, depending on how the Everton Leicester game goes, but that's what it's looking like at the moment. As I say, because we can go to 7th. It's fine. We're 8th at the moment. It's fine. You know, no other game tonight will have that much of an impact in our result. Obviously, there's games tomorrow. If I remember correctly, there's games tomorrow, so that those will. But for looking at the smaller picture for a change, because you guys know I like to look at the bigger picture. We're looking at the smaller picture. I do genuinely think we can get a point would suit us very, very well. You know, Palace's attacking line is very, very strong. Our attacking line is getting strong. There's weaknesses from both teams in the defence. So again, I think the battles are going to be more midfield tonight. I genuinely do. Ben says, I think we will struggle at times against Palace's defence. They are well organised. They are, but they can be quite weak at the same time. Some of the goals they've conceded have been absolutely sloppy. But then again, what football team over the last 15, 20 years hasn't conceded a sloppy goal due to ball watching and players being out of position when they're trying to mark and all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's happy, but you're absolutely right. Rob says, a good Christmas, whatever the score. Yeah, I'm sure most of us will have a good Christmas. In fact, you know, I'm sure everybody will. It'd be very, very difficult. It'd be very, very difficult. Good evening, Tony. Nice of you to join us, sunshine. Hope the traffic wasn't too bad coming home. We're literally about to wrap it up now, mate. Unfortunately, so. But yeah, guys, it's been for those excuse me, for those that have got in the chat tonight and been watching. Thank you very, very much for it. And of course, we will have the live watch along. The broadcast will start in 20 minutes, just over 20 minutes time. Good morning, Kieran. Glad I got back in time to say hello, says Tony. But yeah, you know, it's it's going to be an interesting night tonight. It really, really is going to be an interesting night tonight. And so come and join us for the live watch along. Thank you very much to everybody that, as I said, that's been watching in, joining in live. And guys, by all means, for those who are watching the replay, put your comments in the comment section below. Be just very interested to hear your thoughts on everything as well. But in the meantime, guys. Oh, one thing I want to say to you before we do wrap this up, actually, is if I don't know if you've noticed, but you can now watch Amazon Prime on Sky, and you can now watch Now TV on Amazon Fire Sticks and Fire TV units. One thing I do want to say is if you have an Amazon Fire Stick or TV box, watch the games on there. Don't watch it on your smart telly, because I tried it last night. I jumped between the two because I've got a Fire Stick and I've got a smart telly, both with Amazon Prime Video bunged in, and Prime Video on your smart telly is later. There's about a 15-second delay in comparison to your Fire Stick. So on TV, so yeah, that's and likewise, Now TV is slower on Amazon than it is Amazon devices than it is on your smart telly. So worth bearing in mind in case you don't have Sky or anything like that. So it's worth bearing in mind. Trying a few tests to see which one is that, because obviously I try and keep things up to date with you guys as much as possible, which of course includes the score line. I've updated the score line for tonight, the scoreboard I should say, for tonight's fixture. So the team colours are out in force again. But in the meantime, guys, thank you very, very much for your time, and I will see you in 20. All the best.